Thousands of Pakistanis have staged a protest rally against the possible restoration of supply routes for US-led forces in Afghanistan and the American intervention in Pakistan. The protest, led by chief of the country's largest politico-religious party, Jamaat-e-Islami, was symbolically staged in Abbottabad in northwest Pakistan, where US Special Forces last year allegedly killed Osama bin Laden in what is known to be the most brazen violation of Pakistan's sovereignty by the US so far.
अफगानिस्तान में अमेरिका शिकस्त खा चुका है.
While the defeat of US forces in Afghanistan is in sight, our parliament is reviewing its alliance with the US and making ways to reopen NATO supply route. We are warning the government that we will launch a countrywide movement and mobilize people to come out and stop the supplies by force.
Chanting slogans against the US and the incumbent Pakistani government, the protesters said Islamabad is following pro-American policies. Participants said they really believe the US growing intervention in pursuit of its so-called global war on terror is all behind the major problems, including unrest, sectarian violence and political instability in the country. They call for an end to their country's alliance with Washington in its so-called war on terror. Leaders of the party called on Islamabad to cut off all forms of relations with the US, thereby ending the American interference in the country's internal affairs.
The main reason behind this instability is the involvement of America in our affairs, and our rulers who have subjugated or subdued before the American influence and American involvement, and unless and until American involvement ends, we cannot have any stable position and stable situation with our country.
The protest was part of the party's widespread protest campaign against the expected restoration of supplies to US-led forces in Afghanistan. Leaders of the party have rejected the parliament's resolution to restore the supply lines and have warned of countrywide anti-US protests. Supply routes to US-led forces in Afghanistan have been shut down by Pakistan since last November, after a US airstrike killed at least 24 Pakistani soldiers on the country's northwestern border with Afghanistan. The attack triggered nationwide anti-US protest, with masses calling on Islamabad to cut off ties with Washington. Zahid Hussain, Press TV, Abbottabad.